Righto, welcome to Captain Dorja's Armory. This is Captain Dorja, and we're going to be coming at you today with some T34 action. And the T34 Tier 8 American Premium Heavy Tank. T34 is really fun. I really like it a lot. The thing makes money like a champion. You can't really tell that from my account because I'm pretty broke all the time. Right now, I'm really broke because I just bought a T95 and a T54, so that's pretty expensive. But this thing is a big part of how I finance it, and well, it works really well, largely because it's got such a good gun. Now, this gun, it hits real hard. Rate of fire is pretty slow. Penetration is off the scale. It's really good. Moderately accurate, kind of typical American, in between the Germans, in between the Russians. The aiming time is bad. Honestly, I should probably have improved ventilation, but I don't. But that would be good for the reloading, the aiming, and the kind of poor maneuverability of the tank. I should probably change that at some point. But anyway, I have coated optics. I like view range. But for those of you who aren't aware, the T34, here it is right here, it costs 12,000 gold, which is a lot. It used to be the American Tier 9 heavy tank in place of the M103, and that was back in the day when the T30 Tier 9 tank destroyer used to be the American Tier 10 heavy. They reorganized the tech tree, and when they did that, they bumped the T34 down to a Tier 8 premium. Everybody who owned one got to keep one, and I think they got an M103 for free with a garage slot and a 100% crew. I wasn't able to get that far. I was pretty close, but wasn't able to do it. But so I bought mine. Yep, I'm a wall warrior. But they bumped it down like that and replaced it because the T34 stock grind was absolutely terrible. This thing's advantage is its firepower. And its stock grind, you had to use the gun from the T29. Great on the T29, adequate on the T32, abysmal on a Tier 9 heavy. Just, it lacks in pretty much every category. So, they took this thing and they replaced it and made it into a Tier 8 premium. And when they did that, what they did was they lowered the HP down to Tier 8, down to the level of a Tier 8. They reduced the rate of fire on the gun. It used to actually have quite an impressive rate of fire for such a powerful gun. Well, now the rate of fire is only 4, which is not great. But when you're doing 400 average damage with 248 pen at Tier 8, 4 round per minute rate of fire is nothing to sneer at. Again, accuracy, mediocre. And they increased the aiming time when they lowered this thing a tier as well to kind of balance out that really powerful gun. But it's still a really powerful gun. This thing's one real weakness is that it's an arty magnet with the low armor everywhere on the hull and everywhere on the turret except right on the mantlet. This thing takes arty damage like you wouldn't believe. Arty will just destroy you in this thing. It's the one thing I don't like about it, and there's not a lot you can do about it. But it's still a really awesome tank. It's really fun to drive, and it's good at making things go boom. So let's get on to the replay. This is kind of a weird replay for the T34 because, well, I don't really use it in a very characteristic way. A lot of people play it like a TD, or they kind of are a little cagey with it because it's, low armor, big gun, crappy turret traverse. But in this match, well, I kind of drove it a lot like an IS-3, and well, you be the judge. Let's take a look at the replay, and you can decide how it went. Well, here we are, Encounter Ensk. Encounter Ensk is probably my favorite map in the game. It always promises a good fight. I love fighting in cities. I don't know. I think it's a lot easier, to be honest. Some people hate TDs in the city, but it's just so easy to keep your flank covered. I like it. But T34 is not a TD. Some people play it like one. I do not. I also really like my swanky camo on it. It just looks so ridiculous. It's great. And this thing's gun is massive, and some of my clanmates, when this thing was a tier 9, used to have some pretty irreverent names for it. I think we can probably guess at some of those without me saying specifically. So I like fighting in the city, like I just said. Hate fighting on the field. So I'm gonna drive into the city. But first, I've got to obligatory ram that railroad car like a derp. So now, railroad cars aside, back into the city. Fixed camera activated. We've got a KV-1S on our team that nobody seems to be able to understand. We get the vague thrust that he's complaining about the matchmaker, but KV-1S is awesome, so this match is really actually not that bad for him. If it was chock full of IS-3s or something, it would be one thing, but you know, juicy T34s and AMX 5100s, nice and penetrable, not a big deal. So I'm coming over, and I usually like to go to G4, take a look at the cap, and to watch that corner by the cap circle. But I see this 5100 coming, and everyone loves shooting at French tanks, and this guy's just making it so easy. He's just zerging right in at the very beginning, like French Tanks 101. Do not zerg in right at the very beginning. All you do is die. And this guy, if he'd stayed alive till the end of the game, could have been a monster. But he chose to throw his life away at a couple of shots at a T34 and a Chaffee. So alright, we'll oblige him. Yeah, 600 damage, we'll take that. And you can see that he actually bounced one off my upper glacis. So even the T34 with only 102 millimeters of frontal armor can bounce shots on its upper plate. It's not common, and you definitely don't want to rely on it, but it is possible. So, 5100 killed by the Chaffee, but it's not looking great for us either. We've lost the 28 prototype, a Tiger, a KV-1S, and a 3601. This is just too much to ask. And, of course, I flubbed my shot at the rear of a Pershing that has no idea I'm here. But he's going to make it easy. So I'll clear out of the way, avoid the friendly fire, and bam, right in his back. And our boom truck, aka SU-152, puts the finishing blow onto that Pershing. Now we're looking real strong in the city. They got a couple of tier 6s going around our flank, but you can see that the field is cascade failing. We've got a T-32 down, and we've lost the scout. They've lost a tier 8 medium, a tier 6 medium, a tier 7 heavy, and a tier 8 heavy. Our T-32 is raging at us, calling us all cowards. But all is not lost, and here we find a beautiful kill. Oh! Tracking shot. Excuse me. Never mind, not a kill, tracking shot. Sarcasm. How a Jagdpanzer IV gets lucky. That was crazy. But the T-30 or the KV-1S gets no such luck, and we really reduce his health. Now, I know I'm going to take a hit from him, so I'm going to pause right here. I know I'm going to take a hit from him, so I charge around the corner, which is counterintuitive. But it works, because the T-34's turret armor is the only place where its armor is thick. And as this guy rounds the corner, unless he's in sniper mode, his gun is going to be elevating because there's a building in the way, and that's the way the game works. So I'm going to try and take advantage of game mechanics to get this guy to shoot my turret. And boom! Right on the center of my mantlet. And at that angle, that close, T-34s do not care. KV-1S, dead. Right, our flank is secure. We're capping the base. The cap is now up to 75 and climbing, but they've started to reset. At this point, I'm thinking I'm going to drive back into the middle and fight all these guys. And then I see the giant cluster coming down in J6. And change of tactics. This thing is far from being a fast medium, but flanking when it's on option is almost always a good one. So I decide to go around the other way and try to flank their blob. With our cap at 91, I know the blob is going to rush straight in towards the middle, probably totally oblivious to me. And here we find a Jagdtiger 88 acting exactly as predicted, completely oblivious to me. He lets me shoot him right in the side. I move up, I reload, he's still ignoring me. I'm trying to set him on fire with this one, but it doesn't work. Real low damage roll, only 302. Theoretically, this gun hits for an average damage of 400, but as you can see, with all other guns in this game, subject to fluctuation. Well, alright, I've put a hurt onto him. I decide to come around and finish him off. Jagdtiger 88's a dangerous TD, and I want him dead. He's only at 419 health, but average damage roll doesn't kill him. He's still got 27 left. But if this guy's going to make it so easy, it would just be unfair of me not to kill him. So, yeah, finish him off. Rear of Jagdtiger 88, me likey. Now they're capping. Shoe's kind of on the other foot here. We've got a blob that's about to rush into the cap, but I'm not part of the blob. I'm flanking. And this AT-7 is doing the exact same thing. He's facing his armor towards the blob. I'm facing my gun towards his side. And again, making it easy. He's not even turning. He's going to let me finish my reload. And boom, dead TD. At this point, it's starting to look a little better. 11-11. They've got a super Pershing, low health, and they're capping with a tier 6 medium. But the 3001H is a garbage tank. Not worried about him at all. We still have me, an IS, and a boom truck, and that is much stronger than what they have left. And bang. Ammo wreck the 3001H. No need to waste a second shot on him. He's dead. Just the super Pershing. But this super Pershing is a good player. He's got Top Gun. You don't get Top Gun in a super Pershing by being bad. He's lost a lot of health. And that IS is that IS has lost quite a bit of health too, and so is our SU-152. This super Pershing could kill them all, and I don't want that to happen. So again, why fight a super Pershing to the front when there's an IS right there to do it? I'm going to go flanking again. Kind of the theme of this match, a lot of flanking. T34 not generally a flanking tank, but as I've said so many times, if they're going to make it easy, why not oblige? At that point, I actually considered going in frontally because I thought the super Pershing might double back towards the cap. But he doesn't. He's running. He's running from the IS. I try to line up for a shot. No dice. He's behind the building. So again, flanking. But the super Pershing has now seen me. He swivels. I shoot him in the side, and the IS finishes him off. Congrats in chat to the IS on the nice combo, and now it's just the Ernie. And a T34 can deal with a French Tier 4 Arty, no problem. Boom. Headshot. There we go. So that was a pretty good match. I like that. That was a good result. Let's take a look at the results in the garage. Well, yeah, I'd say that was a pretty good result right there. Victory. All tanks destroyed. I do have a premium account, so my credits and experience are boosted by that, so just kind of bear that in mind. But 134,541, good chunk of change right there. I think that's the highest I've ever gotten. I've gotten in the neighborhood of 134 or 135, something like that, maybe 4 or 5 times. So I'm not sure if this is technically the highest, but it's about as high as I've ever gotten. You know, some people have gotten higher, whatever, don't care. Personal best. Still, 134 and a half. Not something to sneer about. That's pretty good money. My experience was doubled for the first win of the day, so 4160. That's also pretty daggone good. Damaged enough people that it scrolls off this screenshot. I can't scroll it down because it's just a screenshot, so pretty frustrated about that. That would have been a nice Top Gun if I'd been able to blow that guy up, but it is what it is. His tracks ate it. Wasn't enough to save him in the end. So I just want to point out on the more detailed results, this SU-152 driver and this IS driver played really well. This Chaffee driver did real well. Our AMX 5100 did all right. Our Pershing also. T32 kind of threw his life away and then raged about it. And after that, everybody else did pretty average. 1387 experience unmodified is pretty good. I think it's a little interesting. I took 5 hits, potential damage of 1245, but still had 56% of my health left. That's pretty good. I took quite a few hits on the hull, so surviving with that much HP was pretty nice. That KV-1S bounce was pretty nice. That could have really, really hurt. But the big money talk here is 5,000 damage inflicted is pretty good. Not my highest, and I know there are people who do way more than that, and poorly, less well-armed tanks, but 5,000 damage is a lot. I missed 2 shots, and then I had the no damage crit on that Jagdpanzer 4, so if I'd hit that 5100 with my first shot, and that Pershing with the first shot at him, and if I hadn't failed to do any damage to that Jagdpanzer, it probably would have been about another 1,100 damage, so if I hadn't sucked, I would have gotten over 6,000, but still, that's a lot of damage inflicted. I'm just going to pop back to the garage real quick. Take one last look at this beauty. I really like the T34. It is a really good premium tank. If you like American tanks, it's pretty typical of them. Again, I might want to think about changing that for improved ventilation to help with the aiming time and the reload time. And as you saw, this thing is not the most nimble. I've got 89% clutch braking, or off-road driving, but still, the T34 is not an agile beast, and improved vents would help with that too. But she gets the job done. I really, really like this thing. So that's all for now. Captain Dorja here for Captain Dorja's Armory, and just remember, you can never have enough big guns.